we're going to be having a look in this tutorial about how to put together a conversation. So we need this conversation to flow. You can see that they've clearly filmed it using the 180-degree rule because we're always on this side of the characters. But I'm going to start with this long shot. So she comes in. I'm going to go for the last take here. So I'm using skimming, and we're just going to go from this point here, from the door. So if I click I, we'll go after he says action.
Hey, I just had the weirdest dream ever. I was in a warehouse, and there was this guy, he was a maniac, in this yellow suit, and he had an axe, and he was chasing me, and it was like I just couldn't get away no matter what. Like, every time I turned around, he was just right there. And he had this axe, and we went up these stairs, and he was right there, and as soon as I turned around, he just tried to get me, and then I woke up. Wow, that's awful. Yeah, that's so scary. You think this more than I do. Yeah, right? You look shook. It was just like one of those dreams where it was just so real.
Okay, so we're going to go for that. We'll drag that down on the timeline. And I'm just going to put it all here. So, I'm going to go to the point where she comes in.
I just had the weirdest dream ever.
And she's going to say, I just had the weirdest dream ever. And we're going to get to that bit. So the next thing we need to do is cut to the next shot. So I'm going to put a little slice in that just so that we know where we're at. And I'd like you to skim ahead a little to get to this next shot of her speaking.
I was in this warehouse, and there was this maniac in a yellow suit, and he was chasing me, and it's like no matter what I could do, I just couldn't get away.
Okay, that's all I need her to say. So I'm going to trim this clip down.
I was in this warehouse, and there was this maniac in a yellow suit, and he was chasing me, and it's like no matter what I could do, I just couldn't get away.
Okay, and we're going to cut there. So if I use the blade tool again to make a slice, and I'm going to move this over the top of that. So we now go, I'm going to go from here. And the audio won't match at the moment.
I was in this warehouse. And there was this guy, this maniac in this yellow suit, and he was chasing me, and it's like no matter what I could do, I just couldn't get away. It was like.
Okay. So we now know that we need to split this clip. So if we use B and A again, we can get rid of that.
And he was chasing me, and it's like no matter what I could do, I just couldn't get away. It's like I just couldn't get away no matter what. Like every time I turned around, he was just right there. And he had this axe, and we went up these stairs, and he was right there. And as soon as I turned around, he just tried to get me.
Okay, so and he had this axe, so we're going to go from there.
Right there. And he was chasing me, and it's like no matter what I could do, I just couldn't get away. And he had this axe, and we went up these stairs, and he was right there. And as soon as I turned around, he just.
Okay, so we're going to cut back to the other part of our conversation.
So weird, but it was so real, and no matter what I could do, I just couldn't get away. And finally, we went up these stairs, and he had the axe, and he was about to do me in, and then I woke up. And he had an axe, and he was chasing me, and it's like no matter what I could do, I just couldn't get away from this guy.
So we're going to cut after that. So if I put an in point in there,
Whoever he was in a mask, and it was so weird, but it was so real, and no matter what I
and I want to hit, no matter what I tried to do, I just couldn't get away.
no matter what I could do, I just couldn't get away. And finally, we went up these stairs, and he had the axe, and he was about to do me in, and then I woke up.
Okay. So I'm going to drag that down, just that portion of her speaking.
And he was right there, and as soon as I turned around,
So again, on this clip, we need to cut her saying, and we went up these stairs, because that'll match in with what we've already got. So again, it's about kind of replacing it a little.
No matter what I could do, I just couldn't get away. And finally, we went up these stairs, and he had this axe, and we went up these stairs, and no matter what I could do, and he had this axe,
And I'm going to cut there instead of, and we went up there.
Stairs, and he had the axe, and he was about to do me in, and then
Okay, but it feels a bit weird her saying that at the end.
finally we went up these stairs, and he had the axe, and finally we went up these stairs.
So I'm going to just cut her saying, finally went up these stairs. So if I split that there, and I'm going to go back to the original.
Was chasing me like just all through the warehouse, and we went up these stairs, and he got on top of me and was about to swing his axe and do me in, and then all of a sudden it was
And I just want to cut her saying,
swing his axe and do me in, and then all of a sudden it was like I woke up.
so that's the last bit that I want to hear. So I'm cutting from another take now.
Top of me and was about to swing.
So it was about to swing.
Got on top of me and was about to swing his axe and do me in, and then all of a sudden it was like I woke up.
So that's the bit of audio that I want there. Now I might not want that clip because that might be a bit strange because we're cutting from a close-up to a close-up. But let's just give that a listen.
Do me in, and then I woke up. Was about to swing his axe and do me in.
Okay,
And he had the axe and he was about to.
let's try that.
He had the axe and he was about to swing his axe and do me in, and then he had the axe and he was.
Okay, so you can see that I'm kind of cutting together the audio at the moment. And it might look a bit weird, but
Had the axe and he was about to swing his axe and do me in, and then all of a sudden it was like I woke up.
okay, so if we just watch that back, it's going to look a little odd at first, but you can kind of hear the audio working together.
Hey, I just had the weirdest dream ever. I was in this warehouse, and there was this maniac in a yellow suit, and he was chasing me, and it's like no matter what I could do, I just couldn't get away. And he had this axe, and no matter what I could do, I just couldn't get away. And finally, we went up these stairs, and he had the axe, and he was about to swing his axe and do me in, and then all of a sudden, it was like I woke up.
She says axe a lot, so we might want to cut that down slightly.
And there was this maniac in a yellow suit, and he was chasing me, and it's like no matter what I could do, I just couldn't get away. And he had this axe, and no matter what I could do, I just couldn't get away.
Okay, so she repeats that little bit there. So let's just get rid of this. And move those along a little.
And he had this axe, and finally we went up these stairs, and he had the axe, and he was about to swing his axe and do me in, and then all of a sudden it was like I woke up.
Okay, so the audio's not bad. It's a little bit repetitive, but once we cut over the top, that'll look fine. So at this point here, we need to get a shot of her watching and listening here. So let's cut to this shot at the end. Okay, so at the moment you can see she's just there.
He said just relax. Hey. He said just relax.
It's annoying because they've just distracted her and she was actually listening quite well there.
ad-libbing. I was just reacting to her. Right, yeah.
I see. Let's do that again. And action.
Hey. Oh, that's terrible. You need this more than I do.
Okay, so let's start from the next take.
Just the last part?
Talked a lot more. You must have it done all the
Oh,
time.
that's-
Okay. Alright.
It's terrible. You need this more than I do.
Okay, so we'll go with that for the final shot.
And that's sudden it was like I woke up.
Alright, I'm back.
It's terrible. You need this more than I do. Do me in, and then all of a sudden it was like I woke up.
Alright, I'm back.
So you can hear the audio is not quite right at the moment. But we're going to go for half of this shot here where she's listening, and then we want the last bit. So if we split the clip using B for blade, and then we go back to A, we're going to position this over this kind of repetitive clip here. But what I'm going to do is bring this little rubber band down.
Finally, we went up these stairs, and he had the axe, and he was about to swing his axe and do me in, and then all of a sudden it was like I woke up. It's terrible. You need this more than I do.
Now we're going to cut on the action. So we need to go back to this original clip. So I'm going to copy that by Command and C and place that back on the timeline. And if we go back to the end where she hands it over to her, scrolling along. Okay, and we want this action here, around about there somewhere. Let's try that.
You need this more than I do. You need this more than I do.
I'm going to extend that clip out a little. So if I zoom in,
You need this more than I do.
now you can see that she's starting to move there, so I'm going to...
You need this more than I do. Yeah, right. You look shook. He's my...
And we'll just end it there somewhere.
You need this more than I do.
And you can just hear her hissing a little bit at the beginning there, so I'm just...
Than I do.
And I'd like to end with a shot of her looking down at the cup, so I just want to see if I can find a shot there. Okay, let's play all that back together as one. So she comes in, and we've started in a long shot.
I just had the weirdest dream ever. I was in this warehouse, and there was this maniac in a yellow suit, and he was chasing me, and it's like no matter what I could do, I just couldn't get away. And he had this axe, and finally we went up these stairs, and he had the axe, and he was about to swing his axe and do me in, and then all of a sudden it was like, I woke up. It's terrible. You need this more than I do.
Okay, so there's the scene. It took a little bit of fiddling around, but you can see that in the beginning we cut it so that it worked for the audio. And we were just cutting all this audio together. And then we used these shots over the top. With a little bit of audio editing on this one, bringing the sound right down and the volume down to 0. As you can see here as well. But actually when it all plays out together it works quite nicely as a scene, flows quite nicely. So that's how you cut together a little bit of dialogue. And actually it's quite a pacey bit of dialogue and it's quite a long scene, but it doesn't seem as cheesy now that we've cut it together.